Genymotion again is an emulator, a third-party emulator, which was created by this wonderful company, which allows us to have a fast and reliable emulator to when we start building our Android applications. So the first thing we need to do is just type in download Genymotion. Just click on that first one here, and naturally you will see a lot of links here, and I think the first one is still always the best bet. And this will take us to their website, which is the genymotion.com. And as you can see here, there is for Mac, Windows, and Linux, and you see there's system requirements. So it could either be 32-bit or 64. Okay, just go ahead and take your time and do some reading here, and make sure to check these system requirements here, because this is usually what causes a lot of problem when people don't realize if their system has all the requirements necessary. So just take your time and look, make sure you have all of this here. So the first thing we're going to do here, as you can see, download Genymotion. So there's two links. Well, there's a few links, but two most important ones, which are these two: Get Genymotion, which has 117 megabytes, and the other one is without VirtualBox. Now, what is a VirtualBox? A VirtualBox, think of a VirtualBox as this independent machine that you can install on your big machine, in this case, on your Windows. And so Genymotion then will run using that little extra machine that is installed on your machine, which makes it a little bit faster. That's the secret. That's why Genymotion is a little bit faster than the emulators that come with Android Studio, is because Genymotion has its own little environment within the bigger operating system, which is in this case Windows, where the emulator runs. Okay, so naturally you want to get this Genymotion here, which includes the virtual machine. So just click on that, and now here you will need to have an account or username. So if you don't have an account, go ahead and say create account and go through the process. Then you will be able to download things here. I already have one, so I'm going to go ahead and insert mine here. All right, so I am in. So the next thing we need to do is install Genymotion. As you can see here at the bottom, let me make sure you can see that Genymotion is being installed. It's 127 megabytes. So we need to wait for a few seconds while it downloads. All right, so Genymotion is already downloaded, so double click. And here, welcome to Genymotion Setup Wizard. Go next. And make sure you remember where this is, this link, this path here, because we will need this to set it up with our Android Studio. Okay, so just remember that. As we know, it's on program file, Genymobile, Genymotion, okay? And if you want to change to somewhere else, you're free to do so. I'm going to go next. And yes, we want it to be Genymotion. Create a menu folder here. So go next. Create a desktop icon. Go next, that's fine, and install. Now Genymotion will start installing itself in our machine. Alright, so as you can see now, Genymotion is installing our Oracle VirtualBox, which is indeed good news. Let us wait until this is completely installed. Get next. So all of this I just leave as it is. Okay, so set up next. Please choose the options. I usually am going to go ahead and just I'll leave this create a shortcut on desktop because I want to be able to click on it and then start Genymotion. Go next. Okay, say yes, and I will say install. Now Genymotion is installing. So here, would you like to install this device software? Of course, you say install. All right, once we get to this point, things look really good. So just go ahead and say finish. And of course, the installation will be finishing, which is a good thing. And let's go ahead and say launch Genymotion. And as you can see here, this little icon saying loading plugins. So Genymotion is now loading in our machine. And there it is. And add more if you wish so. And you can see the reason why it showed that one is because I'm actually logged in as a user, and here you will need to log in order to add more. So you can choose whatever else you want. Let's see, maybe this one here. You can go ahead and read the resolution and all of this description, name, and so forth. And say next. It's downloading all the files. It may take a little bit of time. All right, so as you can see, the virtual device has been created successfully. So say finish, and you can see there's this second one that was just created. Okay, and you can go ahead and start one of these. So I'm going to start this Samsung Galaxy. So go ahead and start. Again, this is since it's the first time, it may take a little bit of time, but it shouldn't take that long. You can see here, starting virtual device. So there it is. Now we have our emulator. So now I have a problem here, and if you run into this issue, I'm having this issue because my computer is just not accepting it, but you shouldn't have any issues, okay? So what I would do now, which is very important, is I'm going to get rid of this, cancel that. It says that to start a virtual device, make sure that your video card supports OpenGL 2.0. Okay, so if you're having that issue, so make sure you go and install all of the drivers and so forth. Okay, but if you were able to get to this point, that means things are okay. The other important thing that we can do, so we can get rid of this, is go back to our Android Studio. What we're going to do right now is go ahead and install a Genymotion plugin. So the way you do that, you go to Android Studio here, as you can see, go to File, Settings, go to Plugins, and here say Browse Repositories, so click on that, and at the top here, go ahead and search for, say, Genymotion, and there it is. To the right, say Install Plugin. Would you like to download? Yes, say yes, and now we are installing the plugin. Are you sure you want to exit Android Studio? Say exit. So it's going to go ahead and exit Android Studio and restart it, and at which point we should be able to see our Genymotion plugin icon showing. All right, so here we are. As you can see here, we have our Genymotion icon here, which means everything has been installed. My computer is a little bit slower, so there's a lot of things still loading and just not looking good. It's okay. You probably have a different setup and your computer is a little bit faster. You should not have any issues. And so now, as I mentioned earlier, if you click on this icon here, it should prompt us to select the path where we installed our Genymotion. So if we click here, we know it's in C. We know it's gonna be inside of program files here, and there's a Genymotion. And we're gonna go inside of Genymotion and we say okay. And now we're gonna go say apply. So there it is. As you can see, we have a few. This one, Samsung, should be on. But unfortunately, as we saw earlier, we need to go because this computer is a little bit lower at the lower end. So there's, for now, you are able to actually you were able to install the Genymotion icon here, Genymotion plugin, and you were able to get Android Studio installed. And notice also there's a few issues here. Well, one of the main issues you're going to have is this rendering problem here, and this is solved by one of the ways to solve this, you will need to go ahead and go to SDK Manager, so click on that. So essentially it means we need to go ahead and install other API levels a little bit lower, such as, for instance, 4.4.3 and all of this. Try to avoid that, okay? But you can if you wish to. So you need to go ahead and install all of those. As you see, there's a lot of information here. So if you, right now it says 53 packages, so that's a lot of files. So it will take a little while. So I'll let you do that. Again, just go and drink some coffee or go for a walk or run or something while this happens, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and say install, and you see all of this is here. I'm gonna say accept license, and I'm gonna go ahead and install everything. Again, this may take a lot of time, a long time, so be patient and let it be. All right. Well, I'll see you in the next video once you have everything installed and restart your Android Studio, and you should be good to go. The other issues you may get, I'll create a document where I explain certain issues you may encounter as you install certain things and things don't really work as expected. But don't worry too much. We will get there. Okay. Well, thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.